What is happening, gamers? Welcome to Nightcast, the audio podcast, and today we are talking about E3's cancellation. Now, yesterday it was rumored that E3 was going to be canceled because of the coronavirus, and, well, that came to be true. This morning in California time, which I'm in the East Coast, so I've been up for quite some time, but the ESA met and they talked about it in detail, and they came to the conclusion that E3 would be canceled this summer. Also, other trade shows could follow suit, but we don't know really what's going to go on and what the future's going to be. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is how it relates to Batman. So, as you guys have known, Warner Brothers, WB Games Montreal, Rocksteady, and pretty much all the big Warner Brothers studios and game developers were attending E3 this year and releasing their games. They were going to reveal them to the public. And it comes out that Batman was one of those games, which we knew about. But this news is just kind of annoying. I'm hoping that WB will actually do a trailer or something that they can ride this wave, but apparently they had a big spread they were going to do. Possibly I was going to be invited, because whenever they reveal a Batman game, then Amber and I go down to E3. It's always fun, but this year, yeah, not so much. There's a couple ideas that are flying around that could happen, and the Batman leak came from Kotaku. It was Jason. Jason doesn't have the best track record, but he does have good sources. Also, he's not the nicest guy in real life, but it is what it is. So Kotaku is the one that ran with the Batman story, but there are other people talking about it, so yeah. It's pretty common knowledge at this point. We know Batman exists, and it was going to appear at E3, and now everyone is really bummed and doing the little memes of Affleck pushing the swing with the rain, because it's fitting. It's fitting that it's raining in Gotham right now, because this is pretty upsetting. So, I mean, I can understand why they want to cancel the event. They're very concerned about that this virus is going to spread even more than it is. I doubt it, but, you know, for people that have weaker immune systems, which most of the people that have died because of this virus are people that have autoimmune diseases and things like that. So it's to be expected. I mean, having your lungs drown from, you know, all kinds of stuff like pneumonia or something, not fun. So totally understandable, and we don't want to risk people's lives over a game convention. So what are a couple of the ideas that people are throwing around at the ESA right now is some digital shows. Now, the problem is, with the digital stuff, it's not the same as an actual trade show, you know, where you get hands-on and stuff like that. They could release demos onto systems like PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, things like that, but it's not quite the same as meeting the developers, talking to them about their game, and then talking to your people, like your audience, through magazines or your YouTube channels, your podcasts. It's a very intricate business. Having attended several conventions over the past 10 years, E3 is a big deal. The problem with the cancellation is how this is going to hurt a lot of smaller people. There's a lot of deals that are made at E3 too, and also a way to get the public interested in your game. It's a big thing, right? It's kind of like nicknamed Gamers Christmas for a reason, because it's our thing. It's our biggest thing that we have to look forward to every year. And doing it as a live stream, whenever companies have done that, there's been a loss of interest, as opposed to when it's happening at the trade show. Now, Nintendo's an exception. Their Nintendo Direct has expanded beyond belief. But the PlayStation Direct, whatever it's called, PlayStation Play or I forget what it's called, but it never really caught on as much as some of these other things. Same thing with Xbox and some other stuff. So, you know, one of the things flying around, which I hope this isn't true, is that Warner Brothers is going to try to do like a Nintendo Direct. The problem is they don't have that many games. So how are you going to fill even a 30-minute live broadcast with Batman, Lego, a new Harry Potter game, whatever Rocksteady's game in development is, and a few other surprises? At most, that's about maybe 6 games. Can't really, you know, fill that out. Excuse me. Somebody was calling me. Yes, I have a cool guitar theme from my phone. It's nobody important. It's just whatever. I lost my train of thought, though. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. This is just... I wasn't expecting them to... Well, no, actually... they came close to canceling an E3 a couple years ago when it was like swine flu or some other type of virus that was going around. Why is it always election years that these tend to happen? It's interesting. But anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much all that's going on. We know nothing about the Batman game. I haven't reached out to AV yet because I kind of forget what time zone he is. I know he's over in Europe, but I don't know if he's awake yet or not. I haven't really checked his Twitter. The fact that Kotaku is running with the whole Batman thing, it's not surprising. I mean, everybody's known that the game exists and that it was going to be at the trade show, but that's kind of where everyone was going to get their mitts on stuff. But back in my day, especially when I started as a game journalist a long, long time ago, you would still get new game information in magazines. And, you know, nowadays it's kind of a rarity, but there's still some exclusives that happen, right? So they could, in theory, do what they did with Arkham Origins and have Game Informer do like a whole media showcase again and have some exclusives with their magazine, which they did with Arkham Origins. It's not quite as impactful as like a trade show, mind you, but I mean, it's better than nothing. If I was Warner Brothers, I would try to find some way of scavenging around and, you know, fixing some of this, because while there's going to be refunds issued for a lot of the people that would be attending E3, like these companies and stuff like that, it's still going to cost the companies a lot of money to even cancel at this point, because you have to remember that most of these people have already bought like plane tickets and hotels in advance. They've planned out their schedules. Now it's like they have all this free time in June. What are they going to do? Plans have to be remade, and all that costs money, especially for depending how many members of their team were coming down. Everything changes. I don't even know if... What's the next PAX, by the way? PAX East already happened. Has PAX West happened already, or PAX South? I haven't read Game Informer in years, but they're still following me. We'll never get an announcement. You'll get an announcement for something. What's the next trade show? They should do what football's doing. No people at the stadium. Well, aside from the players, right? PAX South just happened in January. PAX South already happened. PAX Prime happens in August. Okay, so PAX Prime's probably still going on. PAX East already happened. Although, maybe if PAX East hadn't happened, maybe the... No, that's just stupid thinking. Never mind. I'm not even going to bring that up. All I know is before PAX, there were no cases in Pennsylvania or some other things, but... Or some of the other states. But that's just purely speculation and just stupid thinking on my part. Most people have already been infected that have been infected. Now chore comes with quarantining the people. And quarantine's not fun anyway. But I don't want to get into all that medical stuff. I had to learn about quarantine when Amber was going to be working at a hospital. And some of the stuff she told me was terrifying. It's almost like prison. You're not allowed to leave, and even the people who work there, they have to stay until either the virus passes or all the people die who have the virus. Then you have a cleaning crew come in. It's very freaky. So you don't want to be quarantined in like one of those buildings. Oh my gosh. Yeah, probably more conventions are going to be closed off or something like that. But I'm surprised. E3 has come close to canceling over the years, but this is the first that I can think of. But E3's been having problems for a while. A lot of companies have pulled out well before the whole virus fear. Back in, I believe it was September, several developers announced that they wouldn't be attending E3 this year. So, and then you had some high-profile people in December announce that they weren't. Jeff Keighley said he wasn't going to do it, and some other entertainers pulled out, which is weird because, I mean, yeah, it's costly, and you could just do like an online streaming show for, I don't know, a few $100, some decent quality ones, and still make what you were going to make at E3 almost, because streaming is the future. So, I don't know. It's, there's not a lot of information out about it. No one really knows. Well, no, everybody knows it's because of the virus, but what's funny is a lot of leakers got in trouble this year for, pre-spoiling what E3 was going to be. And now that there's no E3, it's like, I don't know. I bet you the leakers are kind of like, ha! But it's devastating. It really is. But, I mean, trade shows had people from all over the world. So people from infected countries would be coming. And, you know, then, well, California's already messed up anyway. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to wish that sickness on anybody. So where does Warner Brothers go from here on out? If I were them, I would probably make an announcement this spring, like they did with Arkham Origins. Everyone knows the game exists now, and people are, you know, getting tired of waiting. It might already be too late. Like, E3 would have been that last big hurrah that could get people interested in a fall release. Now, without their big spread that they were going to have, and really no convention's going to house anything game-related until, like, August or September, it's not going to be good for the game industry this year. Just being completely honest with you guys. E3 is a spectacle that really helps sell games, especially to casual players. It's not just like gamers that tune into E3. It's people that aren't really hardcore gamers, you know, and that's how they find out all the games that are coming out. They don't go to websites that have upcoming releases and stuff like that. They don't follow those type of stuff. They don't go to IGN or GameStop or any of those places regularly, so they have no idea what's going on. E3 is as much of a show for casual people as it is hardcore fans. And now that's not going to be a thing, so that could impact sales for gaming this year. Don't know. It's never happened before. When I started, E3 was a very, very small trade show. When I was a fledgling journalist, it grew exponentially in the 2000s, not going to lie. It kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it became to the point where it was beyond a media circus. It was almost kind of like a mini carnival or something, or like a big theme park or something, you know, where all the adults go. It was magical. Also, I mean, it's easy to get lost. If I didn't have that WB guide helping us get to the WB booth for Arkham Origins and Arkham Knight, Amber and I would have gotten lost at E3 because it's massive. Way bigger than PAX. It's bigger than, like, the New York Comic-Con, all that stuff. It's easy to get lost. Well, I mean, I have a horrible sense of direction, but it was nice to have a Warner Brothers guide with us because I had no idea where we were half the time. And there was all these people, like, mushed together, too, so I could see how people, like, tens, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people probably could all got sick and then became, like, infected and spread it all over their countries and stuff. And, yeah, so it's kind of good, I guess. I don't know. No E3. It's gone. But yeah, you can expect Nintendo will have a live stream. PlayStation probably will. EA Sports is already talking about doing a live stream from their offices. Probably Ubisoft will do it as well. The problem is, if a lot of these companies do this, then I mean, E3, as we know it, is probably going to end. I mean, the virus might have been like the final nail in the coffin for the trade show. I mean, it's been going almost 30 years. I think it started in 95. My first one was 2003, something like that. 2003, 2004. No, '04. My gosh. Yeah, it was '04. The really boring one. Yeah. Because I wasn't, I didn't get hired until, would have been January or February of '04. I interviewed in '03, but I didn't technically get into the industry until '04. So, sorry about that. It's always numbers. I know I was young, and I know that the year that I attended E3 was very boring. Wasn't much going on. So yeah. Sucks. It wouldn't be wise to not cancel all trade shows. It wouldn't be wise to not cancel all the trade shows. You don't want to underestimate the virus. Was Rocksteady supposed to reveal a game at E3? Yes. We don't know what the game is. Only Rocksteady knows and WB. WB will probably do a live stream, but like I said, they don't really have that many, No, he didn't find anything important about Batman, just that Batman was going to be at the trade show. You're talking about the Kotaku guy, right? Unrelated, but are you going to play DC Legends? DC Legends. Is that a mobile game? because I mean, I can play mobile games. I just really don't want to get invested into them. So they take a lot of time. They're a pain to record. What's going to happen to the Harry Potter game? I don't know. That's up to Warner Brothers. We know that there is a Harry Potter game, but we've known for a while. I just don't report on Harry Potter because it's not my wheelhouse. I'm a Batman guy. I do Batman. If there's no connection to the Dark Knight, I don't care. I reported on the Superman thing a little bit because it was kind of like DC related, but I don't really jump at everything DC related unless it doesn't affect Batman. You know me. I don't care. Doesn't involve the Dark Knight, the Bat family, doesn't bother me. WB could do what EA did in 2017, spend 10 minutes advertising a mobile game. Oof. Let's not do that. Yes, the Batman game is Harry Potter at Hogwarts. There you go. You heard it here first. No, probably not. Should be a Batman Beyond game straight right after Arkham Knight. No. What we do know about the new Batman game, time and time again, is it's not an Arkham game. It's a brand new franchise. I would not believe the reports that it's a soft reboot because there's no proof of that, and more people in the industry are already saying that it's a full-blown reboot. Probably not even going to maintain the Arkham name because they want to do something different. The reason why WB wants to do something different is because they don't want to be tied down to the Arkham name, the Arkham legacy. I mean, there's a lot of pressure involved with that. Whereas if you're a company that comes and you do your own game, you know, then it's kind of like your own baby. You don't have to worry about the stuff that came before other than just tributing it a little bit. It takes a lot of the pressure off. Also, journalists look at your game a lot kindlier because, that's not a word, they look at the game, we'll say, with softer lenses because it's not messing with their nostalgia of another franchise. It's not connected to that franchise. So they're not as... Unless the game sucks, they don't go in like too heavy. Like, even the Telltale Batman games were okay and, you know, pretty interesting with story. I would say that a lot of journalists were very passive with the game. Some of them hated it and, you know, had no problem saying so, but most people gave it a pass. Like, they weren't too hard on it. You know, and it was a point-and-click game. I did everything I could with that game, and after my second playthrough, I was just kind of like, you know, it's okay. It wasn't a groundbreaking game or anything like that. The story wasn't that amazing, but since it wasn't connected to Arkham, and it was a new Batman game, a lot of people gave it a break. Same thing would happen with WB Games Montreal new Batman game. As long as it doesn't completely suck, you watch, people are going to be somewhat nice to it. You know? That's just the reality of it. And that would be, from a marketing standpoint, the easiest thing that WB Games Montreal could do. Instead of being tied to the Arkham franchise. Because if it is, then people are going to be way... people like myself. Because, I mean, it's been almost 6 years since the last Arkham entry. So yeah, they would have a lot of eyes on them, so to speak. And people that have played the Arkham games as like a job, they're also going to be pretty heavy with WB Games Montreal, if it's Arkham related. If it's just a new Batman game that has like some Arkham elements, but does some things different, and, you know, we find out this is not connected to Arkham at all, which most likely is what's happening with it, I mean, then more people are going to be like, wow, this game is amazing! And they'll start saying things like, there'll be some people that'll say it's better than the Arkham games. I can guess what people will say it, but I'm not going to say their names here. And, you know, that's better for everybody, personally, because if it's a new Batman game, then it's a brand new franchise. New studio gets to do something different. They don't have to worry about the past too much. They can always tribute the past, but they won't get hammered for being another Arkham thing and not doing enough stuff like Rocksteady or some other company, you know. And it gives them a lot of freedom. And freedom is something that game developers really like. Talking to WB Games Montreal years ago, one of the things that the creators of the game that I remember weren't too excited about when I spoke to them at E3 is they felt like there was a lot of restraints involved with Arkham Origins. There was a lot more they wanted to do. But in terms of storytelling and, game mechanics, they didn't want to veer too far away from Rocksteady's franchise. Well, the restraints are off if it's a brand new franchise. That means WB Games Montreal can do whatever they want. And creatively, that's always good. That's good for gaming. That's good for the designers. Because you have to remember, when Arkham first came out, it was a brand new canvas. They got to do whatever they want. Sure, there was other Batman 3D games that came out that were average. And there was some things from Arkham that was similar to some of those stealth stuff, like the Batman Vengeance games a little bit. Not too much, but you could see some inspiration from that and other stealth games. But it was its own thing. So this Batman game very well could be that. Will I be disappointed if it's an Arkham game? Not too much. Maybe a little bit because of how long we had to wait, but Blackgate is terrible. Don't bring up Blackgate. Yeah. So, I mean, it'd be good for everybody. Jason is rude to a lot of people. The guy's a tool. The only reason people ever talk about that Kotaku guy is because his connections. But in the industry, most people hate him. Like, he's kind of a wacko. I steered clear of working for Kotaku because of people like Jason. No way. They're nuts over there. They've also had to deal with a lot of, problems with their parent company because they just don't shut their mouths. But yup. See, this guy knows what he's talking about. Not a lot of people do, so... Hey, K-Wing, big fan of you since I was 6. Do you think the announcement will be delayed? Announcement for what, Batman? Oh, Kotaku are tools. Jerks is too kind a word. Yes, I did. I have no problem saying that. There are a lot of people in the industry that aren't nice people in real life, though. I mean, it's just what it is. It's not like back in the early 2000s and stuff like that. Game journalists were actually civil to each other. If you can even call them game journalists. Also, K-Wing, would you like a new Batman game such as playable characters and vehicles? Always. Why wouldn't I? But I'm really hoping that, whatever they do with this Batman game, that they keep it... Because I think that, even going back and how I spoke with WB Games Montreal, which probably got me blacklisted with their company years ago, although it wasn't Arkham Origins that they didn't like the things that I was saying about. I got talked to about my critique of Blackgate, and Blackgate was a mess. Blackgate was terrible. I reviewed that for 2 publications, and I did get a non-favorable email from... I don't remember who it was, but one of the people who worked on Blackgate. And everything I said was true. Could I have said that in a nicer way? Sure, probably, but I thought the game was abysmal. It had a lot of issues and never should have released, and I stand by what I said. Could I have been a little nicer about it? Yeah, probably, but I'm from New York, so I'm pretty blunt sometimes. Do I mean to offend people? No. Does it happen? Oh, yeah. Quite a bit. It's just how it is, though. If the game sucks, it sucks. I tell people, if the game is good, it's good. If it's got some improvement, they could either improve it or they don't. Yeah, if they do it, definitely Hurricane. Of course. There's nothing I could do with Damian Wayne. I don't have those. New York is almost Canada, no lie. Hey, now. Hey, now. Wasn't Blackgate a Game Boy game for the 3DS? It felt like it. The funniest thing ever is when Blackgate did so poorly that they had to do an HD... it was like an upscaled version. I can't even say it was HD. Because it looked terrible on consoles. I thought about giving it another shot when it came on consoles. I was like, yeah, no. So that's probably where that bridge was burned with WB Games Montreal. So don't expect early copies of the next Batman game, because while I'm still tight with WBPR, if they handle the game in-house, I'm not going to get it early. I'm okay with that, but I have no problems buying it in the collector's edition and stuff like that. I never said Origins was a failure. It had issues. Nah, there you go. Good quote from Raphael. Oh my goodness. Coming off topic, but when do you think we'll get a trailer for Matt Reeves' Batman? If they do San Diego Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. You're not going to get a teaser before then. I'm surprised they haven't shut filming down, but they're so far along that they're going to finish, so they could delay it still, but I don't know. They only started shooting the movie, what was it, the start of February, and they go till April or May, and then that's it. And then you got pre-production, or post-production, ADR, all that other stuff. That'll happen back in the States. Go punch some thugs. I could, but then I can't tell you, like... I mean, I've already said my thoughts. I mean, there's not really much that can happen at the moment. You're going to hear a lot of stuff about people saying, oh, they should just do a live show. But you have to remember that even a live show costs money a little bit. And if they don't have anything ready, they had a whole spread ready. I don't think it would be as extravagant as what they did at E3 the years I was there. That they had a pretty cool spread for Arkham Origins. That was a pretty cool booth. I remember that. I still have pictures of it somewhere. Whereas the Arkham Knight booth wasn't quite as impressive as the Arkham Origins one. Personally, I'd just be happy to see what the new Batman game was, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to cancel the game. There's some people saying, oh, because E3's canceled, WB is going to cancel their Batman game. Yeah, no. If the game really is for the PS4 and Xbox One, since Sony and Xbox are releasing their new systems this year, this is like the, you know, one of the final PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One X, whatever, games. You can't delay it, because if you delay it, then it's going to take it, what, like a year or two to have it rebuilt? And then when that happens, of course the game could be canceled at that point. You don't want that. So what do you do? I mean, you gotta release it. The problem is now they're not going to have that huge momentum. Which, if I was a community person at WB Games Montreal, or their Twitter person, what I would be doing, which probably they planned on doing before E3 was canceled, would slowly trickle out some information about the game. Like, you know, maybe some concept art, the title of the game, teaser trailer, just little things that you could do to build up hype, because yes, sometimes overhyping a game is bad, but a little bit of hype is not bad. It's not really bad press. It gets people actually talking about your stuff. Because the only thing people are talking about, oh, the Batman game was going to be shown, and now more people are going to be like, okay, I'm going to do some digging, and now you're going to get the leaks. So Warner Brothers needs to stay ahead of those leaks, and they need to do something. Whether or not they're going to do it, I don't know. But the Harry Potter thing was rumored a long time ago. I don't really care about that, though. So that doesn't relate to me whatsoever, so it's just kind of whatevs. You know? Rocksteady's game, I'm interested in. And I've been pestering Rocksteady for years, just for any type of hint. The only thing I know, it's not Batman. Unless they were lying to me. But I've actually formed a pretty decent relationship with those guys. Well, the guys that are still at Rocksteady. You gotta remember that people change jobs all the time. I've known people, so many different companies like Sega and Namco, Capcom, Warner Brothers. Some people I knew at Capcom, they're over at WB now. Some people I knew at WB, they're over at Sega. I mean, people change things all the time. luckily, the relationships you have with people, they don't change too much. I mean, unless you become a ghost. My problem is I haven't attended E3 since 2015. So, I am kind of a ghost. And I think the last PAX I attended was 2016. I did some of those New York Comic-Con things, but there wasn't really a big gaming presence there. That was me just trying to get some comic book contacts, and that didn't really pan out too well. Because most of those people I met, they put me on blockchain years later. It was like, okay. Nice people. Not... And some of those people I never met. I never even met Dan Slott. It was like, okay. I keep mistaking him for that tool that did the Spider-Man One More Day, but he wrote some decent stuff, but he's just a scummy dude. He didn't ruin Peter and MJ's marriage, he just didn't bring them back together. He had the opportunity, if he was trying to retcon One More Day, the years he was writing, but it never really happened quite how people wanted it to happen. But that's Spider-Man, this is Batman, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, I am driving the tank. Huh. So yeah, the ball's up in Warner Brothers' court. I mean, personally, maybe companies need to think about like, oh, I mean, I'm going to save all these tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars for not doing E3 this year. Probably millions, actually. I don't even know how much it would cost to have a spread at E3. I mean, that Batman booth had to be expensive. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably. And, you know, all the money they have to rent to that convention center to use that space is probably very expensive. So, I mean, they're going to save all this money now, but at the same time, you know, it's a double-edged sword. What are they going to do? You know? They had all this stuff planned, and now it's just kind of... He fixed One More Day via the ending of Spider-Man PS4. Yeah, that's true. WB better do a live stream, or what? K-Wing, would you like the Batjet in the new game and Nightwing and Free Roam? I mean, it depends where the game is supposed to... Tens of millions, not thousands. I'm not good with money, okay? Ask my wife. I'm not good with money. I don't know the cost of things. If I knew the cost of half the stuff that happened, it'd be like, yeah, that's past my pay grade. I don't need to know. We'll just say millions, not $1 billion. I doubt that, but it'd be pretty expensive. Although the game industry makes more than Hollywood now, so I mean, they go all out. So it's nice to know that Reggie's back in the game industry, though. He wasn't gone for retirement very long, just like a year. Now he's going to be one of the board of directors at that, never say this right, GameStop. Yeah. Because GameSpot is the publication I almost worked for. Well, I kind of worked for them. Trial. Yeah, I always confuse the two companies' names. It's a dyslexic thing. Because they're so similar in how they are written. The only difference is the stop and the spot. So the, yeah. Never mind. Oh, why isn't Amber home yet? We have things to do. Man, my new PS4 controller should be here because this one has gotten so screwed up from all those versus matches. Because Amber's a button masher. Like this thing, I can show you. Watch Batman walk. This is how like messed up this controller is. Look at him sputter a little bit there. I'm trying to run. He's not running. See, I mean, I don't want him to... There he goes. Now he's kind of running. Well, I mean, don't have him do like a sobriety test because he's not running straight. On the line, Batman! On the line! Oh my gosh. And see, this is why I just like standing still because I can't really move very well. It's like how it felt driving that tank. Respond, controllers, respond! Oh, he's holding on to me, okay. But no, you know, aside from the whole E3 thing, I think the future could be pretty bright. But just knowing that the game exists and was going to be at the show floor, it doesn't interest me all that much, because it's like, that just goes back to things that I heard last, what was it, 6 months ago? So it's not really new news to me, but people are going to be jumping on the story like crazy, like, oh, the Batman game is real! It's like, yeah, but many of us knew that for some time. But also we've been telling people, you know, in terms of the Batman game, I know it sounded like a broken record, but until it's officially announced by Warner Brothers, it doesn't exist. So, I mean, I could echo that, but, you know, since Toolman, Jason said that was going to be at the show floor, that more confirms things than I've heard as well. So, I mean, you know, it was going to happen. Hooray! Now we just have to see what happens. K-Wing, did you see the Spawn trailer? Nope, not yet. When are you starting the Animal Crossing game? I'm waiting for Disney Plus to come. Animal Crossing is until March 20th. So next week. Wouldn't it be cool if Marvel and the NetherRealm team up together to make an Injustice clone, but in Marvel? He can't. You realize that NetherRealm is owned by Warner Brothers. That's a WB developer. Mortal Kombat is a DC and Warner Brothers property. They own it. They bought Midway in, oh my gosh, I actually reported on that story. What year was that? Was that 05? Or 08 or 09? What year did Midway go under? It had to be over 10 years ago. But yeah, they're owned by Warner Brothers, so there's no way. You could probably get a Lego game with DC and Marvel, but like, NetherRealm making a Marvel game? Not going to happen. You'll never get Mortal Kombat versus Marvel Universe. It's a fun idea, but, I mean, don't see it happening. You do realize that Disney could just buy WB Studios, right? U.S. government is looking at Disney a little bit too closely these days because they're already a monopoly. Like, you can't... It's technically illegal for them to go and buy another big company like Warner Brothers or something else like that. Because that would hurt, like, the remaining movie and bigger studios like that. Technically, AT&T wasn't supposed to be able to buy Warner Brothers. But I think they don't even own Warner Brothers completely. I think they have 50% of the company or the shares. So it's not like a full ownage of WB. I could be wrong, but last I heard it wasn't like a full ownership. It's half ownership. But Warner Brothers is also a monopoly too, so, you know, these companies have to be careful. You don't want the U.S. government to step in and then start dividing things, or if the U.S. government had like their own movie studio, that'd be terrifying. Yeah, Disney was able to buy Fox because of Marvel properties. Yep. Exactly. That would hurt the entire entertainment industry. It would be bad. They almost didn't allow Disney to buy Fox. I'm trying to remember what the U.S. government and Disney came to an understanding about, but it was like one of the last big company mergers you're going to see from either Disney or Warner Brothers for some time. But I'm pretty sure AT&T only owns half of WB. But I don't know. I don't really follow stocks and that stuff, so I mean... Disney could just buy the government. That's a terrifying thought. Stop that. Stop that. That'd be a bad idea. What is my favorite Batcave? Wayne Manor, probably. Imagine a fight between Damien and Mickey Mouse. Wow. Oh, Disney had to sell something in order to... Oh, really? I didn't know that. Controlling the propaganda and finding spies in the entertainment industry. Yikes! Come on, guys. You people are scary. Don't give them any ideas. Stop it. My gosh. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, that's the big thing. So E3's canceled because of the coronavirus. There's going to be widespread panic even more. What they're going to do is they're going to announce more numbers when in reality... most of the doctors are getting like test kits now, so these people have been sick. People just haven't known yet. So you're probably going to see, a rough estimate by summer, probably be like 3,000 infected in the U.S., maybe. Currently, there's like 20,000 people infected with the flu, like just this part of the country, so, I mean, just be careful out there, and, you know, it's very easy to remember not to touch your face, and then you do it anyway, but, I mean, as long as you washed your hands, and then you touch your face, or, you know, or you're self-quarantined at your house, but then you have to worry about if the pizza guy... See, I'm a germ freak, so, I mean, I've always washed my hands probably more than I need to. I got in a nasty habit when I traveled conventions, always have, like, that hand sanitizer with me. After... doing an interview and a guy shook my hands, Amber would have her little backpack and be like, turn around, honey, grab the hand sanitizer, go to the next place, dude touches me, it's like, sometimes I would want to wear gloves, but it would look too Michael Jackson-like, so I didn't. Although I wanted to. When I left the hotel, I would wear gloves. I never touched any cab doors, any, whatever, because I just, so many people touch things, you have no idea, it's freaky. And when I do go out, I wear gloves. Like right now, because, you know, not really me touching things. It's more like my gloved hands touching things. But my gloves are cool. They kind of look like Kamen Rider gloves. Like the ones from Kamen Rider Black. Oh, it's OCD, totally. But, you know, right now I'm pretty safe, so. I don't have a motorcycle, but I look pretty cool. Does this mean the Injustice clone Marvel game would be made by Capcom? No moderate pace of fighting comparing to Mortal Kombat and Injustice or other companies that could work out? I mean, there are other companies that could make an Injustice clone. It doesn't have to be Capcom. They could talk to Namco. Disney has a pretty decent relationship with Namco. Well, they did. Not anymore, I don't think. I could be wrong. I don't know. Square could do it. Square's made fighting games in the past, kind of, sort of. They could do it. Maybe. It depends. I mean, you could also have Square publish it, and you could have some developer make the fighting game engine, and then just have Square run with it. There's a lot of things they could do. Was the rumor about DC shutting down? No, it's not true. Jim Lee was at C2E2, and he said, you know, that DC is not being bought out by Marvel, and that 5G is changing. So, yay! We don't know a lot about 5G, but they're in super damage control right now. Although, he just kept one of the hires that Dan Didio brought on. The lady who ruined She-Hulk is now the Wonder Woman writer. So, the rumor of a fat Wonder Woman may very well be true, because the She-Hulk writer who made She-Hulk a balloon is now the Wonder Woman writer, who was planned for 5G, so... I'm just wrapping up my stream, honey. E3's canceled.
Why?
Virus.
But what if they don't want to be responsible for spreading it?
I don't know. Well, you have to remember that there are so many different developers that attend those shows that have...
all over the world?
Yeah, and they also have illnesses. Like, the disease is hitting people very hard with, like, autoimmune problems.
Oh, like if you're already sick, then it'd be worse?
Yeah. I mean, they're protecting a lot of people and developers, I
mean,
mean, it makes sense.
That's a good idea. I mean, I wish my school was closed, but no.
It probably won't.
It won't be, because I live in Hicksville, so...
Hey, Montnui. Yeah, Amber's back from school.
I mean, I feel sad. Like, they're gonna lose so much money for closing it.
Why did Jim Lee keep Marco? Because, I mean, Jim is not... I've told you guys this before. Based on things... Jim, he's going to need to learn to be a leader. He's kind of like, not a follower, but he doesn't like conflict.
He's like me.
You would run into conflict, Amber, and you would find ways of changing things. Like, Jim...
I would be scared to death of those people. What are you talking? I would be scared to death.
Just based on how timid he was to talk about the whole Snyder Cut movement when more celebrities and, like, DC actors are on board with it, like, he kind of dismissed the whole Snyder movement and said that what he doesn't want to see is a fan division while that's a very safe answer that he did at C2E2, he didn't answer the question about whether a Snyder Cut would be possible. So he turned the question back kind of like a politician, which means he was coached a little bit. And Jim Lee, prior to Dan being fired, probably wouldn't have done that. But because he's now like the big cheese and the number one numero uno of DC, some of the things that Jim doesn't want to do, he's going to have to do. And like I've told you guys before, from what we keep hearing about 5G, they're at least 6 months into it in the storyline. And while things are going to change, and it's probably going to be like another universe and not the full-blown continuity because they realized AT&T was right, and that would be bad, they're too far along on this horse to cancel it. They have nothing to replace it. Even if they start working now, these books were supposed to release in October or November. There's no way, even if you rush some things to print right now, you could get like maybe 1 or 2 books ready, like story-wise. But to have like an entire thing drafted, Dan was planning this travesty for like 2 years. There's no way. So some aspect of 5G is going to make it in. Is it going to be as bad as it was going to be? No. Is it still going to be pretty bad? Oh, yeah. But, you know, it is what it is. What is happening to Rebirth? Rebirth has been dead for some time. It's called DC Universe Books. It has been called the DC Universe Books for like a year or two now. You're in like 3 months. They've gone with the DC Universe label. Look at your comic, and then look at when it said DC Rebirth, and look how it says DC Universe. They've been doing that for at least a year. So DC Rebirth has been dead for a while. Kid Flash, they're doing something called DC 5th Generation. I don't know about that for Superman anymore. It's going to be John, but it'd probably just be John Kent. But let's focus about the whole E3 thing, because that's why you kind folks have come here. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, it makes sense from a business standpoint. I mean, also the lawsuits that would probably happen if a lot of people got sick at the convention. Lawsuits from the city of LA, the state of California, different game developers, you know.
Are they going to sue every convention, even non-gaming conventions?
I'm just saying theoretically that would happen, or could happen, but it's not going to happen because they're closed. They're not doing it.
I mean, are they going to close down the universe until, like, the virus passes? Like, you can't close everything. Like, people still need to get to their jobs and go to the grocery store and stuff. Like, how can you close down everything going on?
I don't know. I think people should just be like the 40s and wear more gloves. Then they don't have to worry about touching things as much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like E3 will be...
E3 is going to be streamed. It's just...
Oh, it will be streamed.
Of course.
Well, I mean...
Part of it.
I mean, I'm not trying to be selfish, but we couldn't make it anyway financially, so...
No. Well, we probably were going to be invited this year because it was announced that the Batman game was going to be there.
Oh, so we would have gone.
Yep. We always get invited by WB. Unless it's WB Games Montreal, then not so much. But WB as a whole, like WB...
it's...
Yeah, they like us.
Yeah. Well...
Which is surprising.
No, it's not.
Well, I run my mouth quite a bit.
Even though, like, I couldn't make it probably, I do feel sad.
Do I think the new Batman game is going to sell poorly because E3 got canceled? I mean, I don't know if it would sell poorly, but, like, word of mouth is going to be much, much lower. You're not going to get as much attention for it. It'd be like, I don't know if you guys remember what E3 was like when it was a smaller convention. Maybe some of you weren't born yet, but, like, in the early 2000s, game sales were quite not what they are today, and a lot of that can be attributed to like social media, YouTubers like myself, E3, different trade shows, smaller trade shows like PAX, things like that, you know. And with that element removed now, yeah, you just killed a bunch of the hype. You killed Christmas. You killed gamers' Christmas, virus.
Would you close E3, Luke, if you ran it?
Based on the probably mountain of lawsuits and the fact that the virus isn't over yet, yeah. I probably would close it too. I would probably have an alternative and say, even though we're closing the event, we're still going to stream a lot of the stuff because I would want to try to make my money back because it's an investment. You have to remember the person who does E3 or the committee, they make money off this trade show from the money that they put into it. So it's not like they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. This is a $1 billion thing. You know, it's also money for the city of LA and state of California and all these different game companies. There's a lot that goes into it.
They should have a virtual E3.
That's what I would say. I would say they should do that. You killed Captain Clown. You killed Gamers Christmas. Exactly. K-Wing, E3 had a controversy last year where journalists had their information leaked and were almost doxxed. Yeah, that did happen. There were a lot of leaks that happened. What are your expectations on the new Batman game? Only things that I've reported on. Which I reported on that stuff, what was it? 6 months ago, 4 months ago. I'm pretty sure all that information is mostly valid, so that's all we still know about the game. Bat Family, Court of Owls, younger in Batman's career, new franchise, not a reboot. Or, sorry, new franchise, not a soft reboot. You know, new actors playing Batman in the cast, new composer, new art style, new everything. That's why it can't be... See, if it was a soft reboot, then you would want at least some things to remain the same. You would want it to graphically look similar to some of the Arkham games. You would want it to have some similar aesthetic and feeling and things like that. But if it's brand new, then yeah, you want to bring in new actors, new music, all that stuff. That's why I really got to thinking, along with other people, that it was a brand new game and not a continuation of something that's already been there, because you're bringing in a brand new composer that has really done a different sound to things. What? Did you already set the premiere? Oh.
That's what I was saying.
What time is it? No, I didn't set the premiere for that. I can do that right here from my little station. Thank you for telling me that. Wait, what is this for? Quiet, Shadow.
I mean, personally, like, yeah, I don't know. If I wasn't already in my final semester of school, if I had just started school, honestly, I probably would have quit school at this point, because, yeah, I am kind of worried about going out places and stuff. Like, with everything going on. Like, if I don't have to go out someplace, I wouldn't. But at the same time, like, yeah, I do feel sad about it.
Yeah, I wish people would stop, like, there's so much misinformation about the virus, and a lot of doctors are speaking out and telling people to stop buying the masks because they don't protect you. The only way the masks would protect you if something was literally coughing on you, because most of these people are getting sick. That's why they did this whole thing. Even our town, they have, like, pictures posted of, like, telling you to wash your hands and don't touch your face, because it's not like, when I mean airborne, I'm not talking like coughing, I'm talking like people breathing on you, or if you're in like a subway car or something, somebody's breathing and it's just going to pass from person to person like at an alarming rate. If somebody coughs or sneezes on you, you're always going to get sick, you know. But I mean, the mask only really helps you not spread it if you're one of the infected. I like that. I'm going to use that more. The infected.
Yeah, one thing I know about viruses is they cannot live more than 24 hours on an inanimate surface.
This one can live for days, apparently.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
No, they're not supposed to live for more than 24 hours on a surface that's not a living thing.
48 hours to three days.
No way. That's impossible.
That's what they're saying. That's why people have made a...
madness.
You want to know what's crazy? If you try to buy bleach wipes on Amazon or some other stuff, it's up to $80. Because,
I already
like,
have a bunch of bleach wipes here.
Yeah, I know. I need to wipe down the computer stuff because you leave while I stay home. You leave the house. You come back to our little homestead, and then wherever your little hands have been, even though your grimy paws, yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
this is the week of The Walking Dead. Apparently bats caused this. Screw you, Bruce. Good job, mods. K-Wing, have you checked Twitter? I sent you 2 videos about the... Yeah, you did. Thank you.
I mean... Never mind.
E3 gets canceled. The next Batman game trailer comes out tonight. Not gonna happen, but that would be great. Oh my goodness, Red Hood. That'd be amazing, but... Yeah, no.
If I was really into my job, and I was working really hard on a game I would probably risk getting a virus just to go to E3 and show it off because I would be like, I need to promote this game. I've been working on this my entire life. Like, I don't care. Like,
They
I'm
haven't been
just...
working on it their entire life. I
Oh.
mean, past couple years.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave to your awesomeness.
My awesomeness is, or the stream is almost over, and then you need to give the cats their medicine, honey.
I am aware of it.
And you need to give yourself your medicine, because your little ticker is important too.
And I have some stuff I need to do. Hopefully...
And we have work to do as well.
Well, can we be done by... I'll talk about this later.
Yeah, we'll talk about this later. Oh my goodness. E3 got canceled, yep. K-Wing, did you see the announcement of the DCs 2 with Damian Batman? Yes, I did. I haven't had time to make... Whoa, you were at the bus stop and there was a woman who was coughing up a storm. Even though she was a smoker, I didn't want to be anywhere near her. Well, no, you don't want to be near coughing people, especially if they're not coughing into their elbow. That wouldn't be good. Do you think the new Batman game is going to be better than Arkham Knight? I don't know. I mean, depends how long they've been working on it. I mean, I'm telling you personally that if it's a new franchise, then everybody's going to be nicer to them. I knew that W Games Montreal had talent because they recreated Arkham City and expanded on it a little bit. But they didn't have the creativity to do a lot of stuff. So if it's a brand new thing, then you have to remember that your possibilities are endless. You make the rules. They're kind of repeating what they did with Arkham Asylum, though. They brought in a comic book writer to do the story and to act as a consultant for certain aspects of the property, like Joker and Harley and Batman and some of the things that they would do. And the guy that they brought in for the Court of Owls story is the guy who created the Court of Owls. So, I mean, there's a lot of good that they're doing behind the scenes. It could make for a very good Batman game, or this could be terrible. But just because a game releases at the end of a system's life cycle, it doesn't mean that game is bad. The only problem is the momentum is going for people to get what's new and hot. So maybe delaying the game until 2021 would be good because you could release it on the PS5 and the Scarlet or whatever it's called. But at the same time, you have to remember how much that would cost to do that. So, I mean, it all depends. I have no idea what companies are going to do. I do not work with Warner Brothers. I have not broken any... Well, I mean, I don't work for Warner Brothers. I've worked with Warner Brothers on occasion, but I'm not an employee of Warner Brothers. So I'm what's known as an influencer or someone that they contact to do sponsored work. I don't even know what they use as a term. They've used ambassador over the years. They've used influencer. They've used...
Oh my gosh, they had a term for us before.
I don't remember.
Promoter.
Promoter. Yeah, I heard that one. I've heard that used before in conjunction with what we do. So.
Wait, we're promoting your stuff? I didn't even know that.
Where's my check? No.
Well, we get our check indirectly.
Indirectly.
Their check for us is allowing us to use their stuff free of charge to make money off of. That's
Yeah,
our check.
well, yeah, that's true.
That's actually our check.
All right. So anyway, guys, just to recap again, E3 was closed because of the virus. They're worried about all kinds of things happening. The Batman game was supposed to appear at the trade show. Meow, not happening now. The game is not canceled. Don't think for a minute that the Batman game is going to be canceled now, or the Harry Potter game, or Rocksteady's game. If anything, maybe these companies will be nice and give a little bit of information and use social media in a way that hasn't been used quite as much as it has for gaming. I know that Matt Reeves likes to use social media to promote their movies. That seems to work really well. Zack Snyder did it with Justice League and BVS. He used Twitter as kind of like a tease for official stuff. So, you know, WB Games Montreal, they could do a little teaser for Batman if they wanted to, or some concept art, or the name of the game. You know, social media is a very powerful tool right now. There are tons of influencers who would love to get, you know, in touch with stuff and help promote the game. A lot of people that are starved for a Batman game, so don't think for a minute that they're going to cancel it now. But, you know, as far as the game still coming out this year, I think that's a stretch. But again, It's all rumors until WB says what it is, but the fact that so many members of the press are saying that the game exists and it was going to be at E3, and people that cover E3 are pretty upset because that was going to be one of the big titles. I mean, it is what it is. So that's it for me, people. You have a wonderful day. I don't know when I'm going to get around to working on this channel again this week. Probably sometime. I have to do a stream for an Xbox One game tonight at 8 for Namco Bandai. I know I'm talking about another company while I'm talking about another company. But if you guys want to check that out, 8 o'clock tonight. It's some MMO game called Blessed Unleashed? Unleashed Blessings? I don't know. Some MMO game I was approached with. I just dusted off my Xbox One, installed the thing. Actually, it's still installing. But yeah, I'll be doing that tonight at 8 o'clock on my other channel, K-Wings Let's Plays. But you guys have a great one. Sorry that E3's canceled. We'll still find ways of doing some stuff. When E3 streams are happening, I will be streaming them just like every other year, so you don't need to worry about that. The Nintendo Direct stream will be over on K-Wings Let's Plays. All E3 streams, or Stream 3s, or whatever they're going to call it, will be here. So we can see whatever we're going to see then. And we can do our best to use social media to still make Gamer Christmas the best evers. Alright, people. Have a good one. And remember, everything is rumors, except for E3 being canceled, until the developers come out and say, yes, this is happening. All you need to know, the game is real, it was going to be at E3, and now bumpkiss. But it's not canceled, so don't quote me on that. I don't want to go to any websites hearing K-Wing said the Batman game is canceled and has no proof. I never said that. So the game was going to be at E3, and nobody knows what's going to happen now. So my guess is it'll pop up on social media, or maybe E3 will do something with Warner Brothers, like as a live stream or something. I don't know. We'll find out. It's going to be a fun year. That's all I know. I hope so. I was expecting my Gamer Christmas, and now I'm not getting it. So I think I haven't, like, the shock hasn't hit me yet. Like, I think I'm just kind of like...
After you turn off the stream, you're going to cry.
I will not cry. I might pace a little bit. Maybe sweat. But I will not cry. Alright. Later, people. Have a good day.